Hey Lovebug. If you happen to be new here, my name is Marissa Yvonne and my channel is all about being the intersection between faith and fashion. So we gonna serve the Lord, but baby, we're gonna serve a look as well. Before we go any further, we have to give this week's shout out to these amazing individuals. Thank you so much for showing your girl some love. It is always appreciated. Now, if you're watching and you're wondering, how do you get a shout out? You've got to talk to me in the comments. You talk to me in the comments. It's the way that I get to see you, acknowledge you, love on you, and you can get a shout out in one of my future videos. Now, jumping into today's video coincides with last week's video where we did 14 styles of love. I created 14 different looks that were Valentine's Day related. And so we are going to do 14 scents of love where I'm going to highlight some fragrance combos that will pair very nicely with those looks. So if that is your vibe, go ahead, grab your little snacky snack, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. So the first fragrance I will pair with look number one is going to be Versace Crystal Noir. I've talked about this fragrance on my channel before. She is no stranger here. She is good. I think that she is an amazing nighttime fragrance. She's warm, a little spicy, a little cozy, like deep, rich fragrance. I love to reach for this fragrance when I want to feel confident and I want to feel grown. There is something about this fragrance that will do that for me every time. So we have Versace Crystal Noir. So for our next fragrance pairing, I went with Kate Spade. I feel that this was perfect. I knew I wanted to do something very sweet, very fruity, very feminine, but still very grown, not feeling like juvenile, and something that could go with a day or a night. I do believe the look leans more nighttime, but I do believe that this fragrance is versatile to go day or night. And so she is so good. I love this fragrance. Like, I think that she is so sweet and juicy. I think that she is definitely a sweet, juicy take on strawberry, and I do believe that it's very grown, but still fun and flirty and girly. And so I do think Kate Spade was the perfect pair. Now for our third pairing, I went with Good Girl by Carolina Herrera. I still have the travel size, but she is good. This is a nighttime fragrance. Think bold, sexy, confident, like grown woman. She is hyped, and all of the hype to me is well deserved. Like, she is so good. I think she is perfect for nighttime. This is a fragrance I reach for when I want to give bold, confident, sexy, grown. Like, this is a really good fragrance. And granted, I have the travel size, but think even the heel, the bottle, the traditional bottle of a heel, and just that sexy grown woman. She's confident. She's a boss in her own right. Like, that fragrance gives this. Like, the bottle and the fragrance like are a match made in heaven, because this fragrance is really just that good. So think grown, sexy. She's a little warm, a little boozy. She's deep. She has a hint of sweetness, not too much. It's so good. Like, she's definitely a good girl. So for our next fragrance pairing, we are going with YSL Mon Paris. She is sweet. She's fruity. I think there are some florals in here, but she still has a freshness. Like, I don't know if there's citrus in here off the top of my head, but she still kind of has that freshness that a typical citrus would provide. And she is really good. I believe that she's perfect for day and night, and she gives me very girly, very pretty, very flirty. And like I said, she's good for day or night, so she will do a great transition. But she is so good, and I felt like she would be perfect for this look. Now for our next fragrance pairing, we are going with Yara by Lattafa. This is the 50 ml bottle, and Yara she's sweet and fluffy. She is very girly. When I reach for Yara, I want to lean into very girly, very feminine, very sweet, very fluffy. I want to feel pretty. And when I reach for Yara, that's what Yara gives me. She gives me pretty girl. Like, she's so pretty. Like, she is confident, and she sits in her softness and her femininity in such a beautiful way. That is what Yara gives me, and so I felt like she would be perfect for this look. For our next look, I knew it was giving nighttime, and it was giving sexy and bold and confident and powerful. And one of the fragrances, probably my top fragrance that makes me feel that way, is Eilish by Billie Eilish. It is sweet, it is deep, it is woody, it is smoky. And the more that you let this fragrance maturate and like really sit and settle, get those notes all settled in, she gets deeper and woodier and smokier and sultry and so alluring. Like, I love this fragrance down. This is one of my favorite fragrances in my collection. I know some people have talked about longevity and not getting a lot of that. For me, I can get 10-12 hours on this fragrance easily. Okay, she is just that good. She is definitely a heavy compliment getter. She is so good. I don't think I could ever hate her. She is one of my favorite fragrances when I want to feel confident and powerful and sexy and alluring. Like, she just does that. Like, she's not a traditional vanilla. She is warm and deep and smoky and woody, and I love that. She is so good. So for our next look, I knew I wanted a fragrance that was perfect for the daytime. I wanted something that gave sexy, cool, edgy, fun. And to me, that is Cell Ocean by Le Monde Gourmand. This is she is so clean and fresh. And I do believe that this fragrance could be something that could lean a bit more unisex. It's not going to give traditional feminine. It's not a traditional feminine fragrance. It's very clean. It's very aquatic. And so I knew I wanted to give that kind of vibe. And because I do feel like it leans a little unisex, I felt like it gave that cool, edgy element that I was looking for. So for our next fragrance pairing, I knew I wanted to choose something that can give day or night. I wanted to give flirty, like epitome of femininity, and she is in her softness, and she's elegant, and she's classy, and she's so pretty. Like, I knew I wanted to give flirty, and I felt like I could not go without Blooming Bouquet by Miss Dior. I think this fragrance is definitely probably the most Valentine's Day type of fragrance that one can think of. She is literally flowers, but she's sweet, she's grown, she's sexy. Like, this is florals done in a very grown, and dare I say mature way, but not mature like matriarch, but mature like rich auntie. Like, she gives bougie, she gives beautiful, sexy, she gives wealthy. Like, Benson, get my bags. Like, that's what you want to tap into. Like, she is so good. I've talked about her on my channel before. I love her down, and this fragrance definitely is one that is extremely sentimental for me, because this was definitely one of the first fragrances that really started my love for fragrances and really diving into my journey of fragrances and learning notes and all of the things that I've learned over the past several years. But she is so good. Oh, she's so good. So for our next look, I knew I wanted something that was cozy and comfy and fluffy. And I felt like the perfect choice was Milk by Commodity. This is the Expressive. It is sweet and fluffy and warm. Like, this fragrance is so good. Like, it feels like a warm, cozy hug and embrace. It makes you feel so confident and pretty and cozy. Like, that's really what I wanted. I wanted something that really gave cozy and fluffy, and I felt like Commodity Milk definitely did that. This is grown. I wouldn't say it's necessarily complex, but it makes you feel cozy. It makes you feel comfortable. This is a fragrance that really relaxes me and puts me in a great mental space. I don't really know how to explain it, but that is how this fragrance makes me feel. I do believe that in the future I will definitely upgrade her to a full-size bottle because she is just that good. So for our next look, I knew that this was a nighttime look that I wanted to give bold, sexy, fierce, just very confident, very sweet, and I felt like this was a perfect pairing. So we have Ambre, Étoile by Gourmand, and Vanilla and Amber Oil from Sand and Fall. Now, if I'm being honest, do you need both of these? No, you need this one. She is good. I wore this fragrance a couple of weeks ago and I still smell her. There are certain places in my house where I still get whiffs of her, and I have not put her on since. I'm being honest. I wore her that one time and had not worn her again. Have been trying other combos, and she lingers like everywhere. I feel like she's in the cracks and crevices of this house. It is so good. It's vanilla and amber, very leaning into it, very deep, very warm. Deep amber, vanilla, that deepness, that warmth, like they are really so good. Ambre Étoile gives more of like the sweet perfume version, where this gives more of like the pure concentrated version, but they are so good. They are a great pairing. Now I do want to say, I don't find these oils to be very moisturizing or nourishing. They just smell good. Is that important to me? Yes. I do still purchase them, even though I think we're really buying the scent more than the nourishing part. But I typically will mix it in with either a body cream, a lotion, an oil, and just go about my business, and it still lasts like crazy. So this is a really, really, really good combo to give bold and sexy and fierce. Like, that was something that I really wanted to lean into, that fierceness, but feeling very confident and warm and sexy, and this combo definitely does that. So for this next look, I knew I wanted a fragrance that was going to give day, could transition into night if need be, but really gave grown and sexy and pretty and flirty, like leaning into that femininity. And so I really wanted to go with Passione by Giorgio Armani. This fragrance is so good. I do not see people talk about this fragrance that much. This fragrance is sweet. It has a bit of warmth. There might be some florals in here. There's something that gives a little floral, a little fruity, but this fragrance is so good. It gives grown woman. It gives, she's pretty and she's grown and she's a boss, but she's confident, and she's the kind of woman that like doesn't really need to speak. She's a woman of few words, but when she does speak, it holds so much weight and power, and her silence is powerful. Like, she's the woman that walks into the room and turns heads. Like, that is what Passione gives me. Like, she gives me grown woman, like an epitome of a grown woman. This fragrance is definitely on my wish list to upgrade to a full-size bottle because she is just that good. And I think it's just a perk that like the bottle matches the outfit. I think that's really cute. But she's so good. Think flirty and grown. Oh, she is so good. So for this next look, I wanted a fragrance that gave dark, edgy, and fun and could transition from day to night. And I felt that I Want Choo by Jimmy Choo was perfect for that. This is fruity and sweet and deep and warm. Like, this fragrance is so good. I've talked about her on my channel as well. She is so good. Like, I know there's a peach note in here. She is just grown, and it's like, I think she's also the epitome of like a Valentine's Day fragrance. I Want You, like that deep, seductive, you're giving sexy, you're alluring, like maybe even a little mysterious, right? Like she just like, oh yeah, like she's the woman that walks by and turns heads and has the guys like, who is that? Does anybody know who she is? And nobody in the room knows who she is, but everybody wants to know who she is. That's what that's what Jimmy Choo I Want You gives. Like, she gives just boss babe. Like, she's gonna come in, she's gonna turn heads, she's gonna make you want to know who she is. Like, that walk by air is so good. I just feel like she's so dark. She's a little deep. She's a little rich. She's fun and just a pretty, beautiful fragrance. Next up, I wanted to lead into a fragrance that was very bold, still feminine, but still sparking something different. And I went with Fame by Paco Rabanne. I've seen some people talk about this fragrance, but I have not seen a lot of people talk about this fragrance. And I think this fragrance is warm and sweet. There might be a hint of like greenness in here, but she is so good. I don't know if it's green, like maybe a patchouli note, or if it's like some type of florals that's kind of giving that greenness, but she is so good. I think that more people should get their nose on this because I do believe that she gives bold. I believe that she gives confidence. She gives sexy. She is clean and pretty, and she's a boss. She walks in her femininity. She's gonna put on them heels and she is going to step, okay? And I mean, she ain't gonna miss a step. That's her. Like, she is so good. She's underrated. She's a little mysterious, you know? Like, who is she? I want to know her. Let me get to know her. Like, I feel like Fame gives that too. Like, she gives boldness, you know, like the way that you would want to step on the red carpet. I feel like Fame kind of gives that. And so this is a really, really good fragrance. So really just stepping into that confidence and that sexiness, Fame is going to do it every single time. Our last fragrance pairing, we are going with Extrême Épicé by Le Monde Gourmand. This fragrance is so good. I knew I wanted to give a day fragrance, something that's light but still giving chill and comfy and cozy. And she is warm. She has a hint of spice. She is deep, but she still gives cozy. She gives decadent, not fully leaning into gourmand, but kind of think the warmth that you feel when there are like baked goods, like a sweet potato pie in the oven. I don't eat sweet potato pie, but I know what it smells like when it fills up the house. Kind of giving that, right? That deepness and that warmth where you get those notes of what, like the cinnamon. I think you put nutmeg. I've never made sweet potato pie. I don't eat sweet potato pie, but that cinnamon, that nutmeg, right? The depth that goes into those spices but they still have a bit of sweetness. It's that balance of notes that this gives me. It still has a true perfume smell. So I think it doesn't lean too gourmand, which is why I do enjoy it. But this is a really, really good fragrance, and it does give that chill but cute vibe that I was going for. So that is all for today's video. Those are all of the fragrance and fragrance combos that I have for 14 Scents of Love. I have to give a special shout out to my best friend for giving me this video idea. It was truly appreciated. Love you always. So please sound off in the comments and tell me, what fragrance or fragrance combo are you thinking about wearing for Valentine's Day? I'm not officially made up my mind. I don't even know what I'm wearing. So I don't know. But I probably will lean into something like sweet and bold. So we'll see. But that is it for today's video. I hope to see you back here next week for another upload. But until then, remember that I love you. God loves you. So remember to always, and I do mean always, love you too. Smooches, Lovebug.